I know people are busy, so they will come later. So it's okay. It's a part of life. So we are discussing on the enemies of the mind, or we can say the impurities, and ultimately, after discussion, we find the ultimate cause of the suffering is ignorance. So we discussed a bit about ignorance, and before that we understood self-inquiry is the best method. Why it is the best method? Ignorance can be removed by the self-inquiry. So before we go in detail, I would love to ask you how many times you were upset since the last session. How many times you were anxious, you were awfully busy, you were hurt by someone who is near and dear to you. No, I'm too far. I'm a stranger. So maximum what will happen, you will stop. So when I ask you this question, how many times you were upset, anxious, fully busy since the last session? So there are two elements. I'm asking you in a waking state, and in that waking state, are you aware? You all have received aware and awake beautifully. That is what I understood when you shared your experiences. Do we still know that what is the subject matter? The subject matter is I want to know who am I? I want to settle in the real self. And that real self is permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. How many? How do you find the journey? What changes has taken place in our thought, in our speech, in our behavior, in our attitude? It demands an answer. Eastern wisdom demands an answer. I'm not asking. If I'm asking, then our commander in chief will say, "Oh, look at this guy. He has not changed and he is asking me to change." Instantly, that commander in chief comes. And then I put another counter question. We have no right to die before we learn and study and realize our nature. So today, let us go a little deeper what exactly it means to me or means to all of us, awake and aware. Because if I'm awake and aware, I can directly hit the ignorance, which is in turn the best method to purify the mind, to remove the ignorance. It is so simple in our life. But because the mind is a heavily conditioned, that it does not pay attention, or I can say it does not think. Whenever we have a stress, anxiety, duality, and a conflict, we stop thinking. How can you say, no, I have been thinking about the stress for the last 10 years. That's why it is not resolved. That's why it is not resolved. I've been thinking about my pain, I divorced him or her 10 years ago, and still I'm so hurt. Are you thinking rightly? We have many so-called sensitive points in our life, and then we claim I'm very sensitive. Come on, you are very sensitive. So I want to tell you a story, and then you have to contemplate and reflect, I would say, at least couple of days before we meet on Monday, that what exactly it means in my life. How many times I lost awareness when I was awake. There is no question of, living consciously in dream or in sleep state. So there was a blind man. Blind man was returning to his home from his friend's house in the night. So the friend gave him a candle with a light, with a flame, that keep it in your hand while returning to your home. Are you thinking something? What the blind man has to do with the candle and the flame? For him, the darkness or the light are both the same. So the same thing, the blind man said that, "Oh, friend, why you are giving me the candle? Huh? Because it does not serve any purpose. No, you must keep it while moving to your home." So at last, he took the candle and the light was there, and he was moving. He was moving. He was moving. Here comes our friend. So he was moving. He started traveling towards his home. In the middle, he was hit by another man. Blind man said, "Didn't you see the flame in the candle? There was a light, and I feel that you are not a blind." So he said, "No, I'm not blind." What should be the answer from that guy who hit him? "I didn't see the flame. The wind blew off the flame." And the blind man was not aware of it. I'm talking of awake and aware. So when I'm awake and I'm not aware, my mind hits with a relationship, with a situation, with condition, and that causes the stress and suffering. No one else in the world is responsible for my stress and suffering. Did you get it? Are you understanding? That is the importance of I am awake and still at the same time I am aware. Blind man does not know. It cannot figure out whether there is a darkness or there is a light. So I may be awake, but if I'm not aware, I am blind. Did you get it? Stephen, I am at home. Chime is. One day I will stop the chime. Sometime I give the lessons, I'm on a tour. You can say I'm on a vacation somewhere else, but you cannot figure out. So Stephen told me that, I hear the chime, then I make it sure that you are at home. Are you understanding? This is the importance of awake and aware. What we are discussing, we want to remove the ignorance that is the cause of the suffering. We understand that the self-inquiry is the best method, but without applying the conventional method, we cannot reach to the best method in our day-to-day living. What is our goal of this journey on Mondays and Thursday? I want to realize what is the real self. I am the real self. I want to realize. What is that realization means? I think, speak, and act in that state of awareness of the real self. So what it brings to me? Permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. In that context, we discussed aware and awake. Now, let us make it little easier. Everything is very simple. And why it is complex? The story I have told you. Another way to understand it, my friends, power of being awake and aware. In a waking state, sometime in a waking state, I know this name and the form by my eyes. I'm talking now of awareness. You know what modern psychology talks about awareness, leave it aside. So if you keep that information in your head, there will be a problem. What problem? Do you remember the story I told you that two music enthusiasts went to an expert musician to learn music? The first one was already knowing a lot about the music, and the second one was novice. So the master said, I will charge you $100 per hour per session. And the second guy who never learned music, he said, I will charge you only $100 per month for 25 sessions. Now leave aside the weekend. So the first guy asked the master, how come I already know the music? Now I have to do a lot of effort to make you unlearn what you have learned. That is why I'm charging you $100 a session. But for the novice, your mind is raw, so I can teach. So I supplied that story, so now understand. Eyes knows the name and the form. Ears knows the sound. I simply touched it, so the skin knows the touch. How do I know? In the field of awareness. How do I know you all are different? Because you all are different. You have a different name, you have a different gender, you have a different age. But what is happening? Where it is happening? I'm aware. That's why I know you are different. Do you see that? Are you getting it? Say yes, even if you are not getting, you can listen to it again. That's why I send every practice that I have been sending over the last 30 years. Once I have taught you, once you learned, once you did the practice, everything is now not mine. Objects are unique. Knowledge of them are different. Clear? You are Christina, you are Ashok, you are... So objects. You are an object for my field of awareness. You all are different. So, and I know about these objects, so the knowledge is different in the field of awareness. We know that is how in the field of awareness we know different sounds, we know different people, we know different objects. Are you clear? It's very simple. Take an example of this light. In the light, there is a mouse. In the light, in the presence of that light, there is a monitor. There I can see you. I can see the wall. I can see the room. I can see the different objects aligned. But why I'm saying? Is anything happening to the light? Is anything happening to the light? Nothing is happening to the light. In the presence of that light, I see the mouse in the different objects. That is awareness. That is knowledge at the same time. So during the last two sessions, we were discussing self-enquiry. Now I'm relating. Self-enquiry is the best method that will remove the ignorance. Ignorance is the cause of this suffering. And from the self-enquiry, we found awake and awareness. We are awake. There is no doubt about it. We do not remain aware. So when you do not remain aware, what the mind has to do? Mind has to be impulsive, it has to be instinctive, it has to be habitual. It will bring the past, it will dig the past. It will resurface the past event. And those events it recalls and remembers, which has caused suffering in the past, and then we start living in the suffering. Knowledge is one in the waking state. We find the knowledge is one, but objects appear different. Objects are different, they look different, but the light is one, awareness is one. When you find that awareness is different, then it is the impurity. It is the enemies of the mind that is attacking you. Are you getting it? Say yes. Even if you are not getting it. No worries. That's why we are, so we are neither related. Now I'm using another word. We are not related to the mouse. I'm not related to the screen and the computer and the objects. I'm not related to any one of you. No, we are related, I love you so dearly. That's why you have a problem. That love is attachment. Again, I'm using the second word, pay attention. We are neither related to. Why I'm saying that that is attachment? I'm giving an answer. We are neither related to waking state, dream state, sleep state. Forget about the sleep and the dream. We are not related to a waking state. That waking state in me, I'm not related to it. Why? I go to the dream state and I go to the sleep state. Again, I become awake. And everything is happening in this waking state. And when I'm aware, I'm indifferent to it. I'm independent of it. I am free. There is no impurities. There are no enemies. So what happens to the mind? The mind reflects a pure consciousness. What is the result? Peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So simply saying, awake and aware is not so easy, but it is the easiest. I'm making it very simple. I am aware of you all. I can name it. I'm aware of Terry and Vaibhav and Barbara and Stephen and Lena. Oh, sorry, not Lena. Anesthesia and Brandy and Ashok and Christina. I'm aware, awake and aware. But that is happening in a waking state. But I'm not a waking state. Do I have that awareness that I'm not a waking state? Why I'm not a waking state? Because I have a sleeping state also. I have a dream state also. They are continuously passing. We have been, my life has been changing the waking state, the dream state, the sleep state for the last almost now going to be 64 years, 64 years. They have been changing. Am I aware? When I'm aware of that waking state where everything is happening, I'm getting the knowledge, people are changing, huh? Exchanges takes place, they are different, I'm eating different thing every day. I'm talking of that awareness. When you live into that awareness, we don't need anything. You are already there. We become complacent. We become complacent. So those objects, those people, those events, those situations, awareness says that I'm totally unrelated. So I relate to it. Why I relate? Did you get an answer? Because of likes and dislikes, because of attachment and detachment, because of the desire. And then what happens? We become complacent. We no longer remain aware. Awake is okay. We no longer remain aware, and ultimately we fall back into the impulsive nature, the past impression, and the habits. We have a preferences of likes and dislikes. That is what I discussed last time, that when I have a preference that I am religious, I have another preference. I'm a non-religious. So the moment the mind has a preference without inquiry what it means by being religious or non-religious, I'm already attached. I'm attached to being non-religious. I'm attached to being religious. There is no change in our life. Have you seen, those people who say that I'm non-religious, I'm a spiritual guy? Really? From where you are spiritual? That is being complacent. We lack awareness. We are getting dictated by the impulses, the past habit, and the past impression present in our mind. That is being complacent. That is being losing awareness. Being awake is not aware. I said until this point. I will explore it. We will explore it together further. So that is why I said, in order to be awake and aware, we have to follow the previous steps. Preferences, I must become aware of the preferences. No, I said, no, I'm not going to the temple or the churches, hence I'm non-religious. You are being complacent. You have lost your awareness. You just made a thought that going to the temple, offering the prayer is non-religious. But did you think about what it means by being spiritual? No. Make it simple. Honey, you don't listen to me what is right, because you have thought what is right you want to impose on your honey, so you have a problem. I can tell you one thing clear. Whenever you are emotionally, mentally upset, being awake, you claim, I know what I am doing is right. You are not aware, that's why you are suffering. Are you getting it? Did I put the thoughts into a right order? Or you can put it. You can put it. Otherwise, there is no reason we don't have a right to be stressful. We have no right. That is the beauty of this journey. So, because to be awake and aware at the simultaneously or at the same time, I have to follow the previous step because of the preferences I said. So, preferences mean likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. Attachment and detachment causes the desire of seeking happiness outside. Seeking happiness outside is a kind of a delusion, and that delusion ultimately results into three levels of the problems in the mind. First level is the impurity, second level is the restlessness, third level is the ignorance. Then what happens? With these three enemies or the impurities, I keep on doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. Is it possible? The answer is no. Then who is the culprit? Commander in chief. Do you remember? My all likes and dislikes, my attitude and behavior, huh? My body, breath, mind, and intellect are brought together to make me feel like an individual. That is commander in chief. That is I thought. That is your ego. Did you understand that? Body, breath, mind, intellect, plus all their different activities. What are those activities? I like you, I hate you. You destroyed my life, you made my life. When you are near me, you give me so much of peace. Then I will go too far from you because you are taking my peace. Peace is not there outside. Happiness is not there outside. Commander in chief, individual. I'm using different words. As long as the mind has even a tiny thought, tell me, am I giving you peace and happiness? No, I'm giving you the knowledge. And the knowledge blossoms in your mind. That results in your inner peace and happiness. Am I right now? Do you think like that? Problem is no more. So by now what happens, once we understand, then we need to apply conventional methods that we discussed. So we will repeat it again and again in a different way so that you will have a clarity. Let us stop there. Close your eyes, being comfortable and carefree. We are talking of position of the body, my friend. First is the position of the body. Eyes are closed gently. And when the eyes are closed, then where I said, is the mind still struggling to be comfortable, to be being comfortable? So we go a little deeper. Look at the neck joint. Good. You look. Means you are awake, then you are aware. Come on, I'm translating what we discussed today. Oh, yes, yes, I'm awake. And if I'm not aware, then what happens? Can you figure out? You know it. I'm putting the phrase in your word. Because when you are awake and when you are not aware, when I said you are aware of the neck joint, the mind is already entertaining other thoughts, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Not very deep, but still deeper. So, neck joint. Now, you move to the subtler level sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It is a rise in awareness. And then after that, you see the space or emptiness or a darkness, whatever you want to say. There is a further rise in awareness. The shoulder joints, physical object. We need very little awareness of the physical objects. We need little deeper awareness for the subtle. What is subtle? Sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the shoulder joints. We still need little deeper. Oh, space is awareness and awareness of space, the entire body from the top to the toes. So the mind take a physical objects or a people or the shape and the size and the color and the touch casually. So by being comfortable all the time during the entire journey of the practice, we want to break that idea in the mind that I'm doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. Yes, I'm doing the same thing again and again. But now I'm raising my awareness. What is that? Oh, I have seen the body, but body is an object, and that object is unrelated to me. You live in higher awareness. I'm not the body. So simple. And then we experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And then space is awareness, and awareness is space. But space is not awareness all the time for me. So that's why we have the next step. What is that next step? Being carefree. What it means by being carefree? Carefree from the mind. Then what about the mind? The mind has a mental highway. It has 3 lanes. The first lane, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. I'm doing meditation, so I don't want that, but still they come. Am I aware of this fact? Again, I'm saying awake and aware. Oh, yes, I'm getting something. Yes, if you're getting something, very good. You're not getting anything, no problem. We ask the mind again. Oh, let us do the practice again. Let us listen to the practice, listen to the talk again. Okay, so unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. And lane 2 is the intellect, is the knowledge. What is knowledge? It's awareness. I know what I know, that there are unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. So when I know, it is awareness. At the same time, it is unrelated. What do you mean by unrelated? It is not me. So it is not me, I damn care. What is that? That is the power of discernment in the intellect. And then what happens? The mind jumps to the lane 3. What is the lane 3? Calmness and peace. When I'm unrelated to unwanted, unwelcome thoughts in the head, in the mind, in the knowledge, in the field of awareness, I see them separate. Where is the problem? But my friends, I told you, It is what it is. That is why we have been following the different steps to purify the mind. So, in the first stage, lane one of the mind says, I will continue to have unwanted, unwelcome thoughts and feeling and images. So, the lane two says, okay, you keep on. I will follow another group of the thoughts. And what is that group of thoughts? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. If you are doing in the field of awareness, if you are awake and aware, practice will succeed in only one session. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Then we go to the meaning. What is the meaning? Let everyone be happy. But what is the knowledge hidden in this meaning? Happiness is the essential nature of every living species. That is why every living species is looking, turning towards happiness. I gave an example. You touch the mosquito, they flee. Why? They are living beings. They have a consciousness. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let everyone be in peace. It is such, I'm awake and aware. It means my honey is also seeking peace. I am also seeking peace. If I am aware, I will never be agitated. If the honey is agitated, then I will see that I will remain in peace and I will see the situation and the event when I can talk about it. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Another word that I'm giving into your mind. Literal meaning is let there be a completeness in all. So completeness means self-fulfillment. It is not desire fulfillment. Where is self? Real self. Where is that real self? Is the pure consciousness. It never demands. It never forces. That is my true nature. Now, but where comes the desired fulfillment? Comes from the mind. How it comes from the mind? Impurity, restlessness, ignorance. Oh, that's why I'm applying the conventional method. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all means what? And that is what we discussed. And I have been talking about it because when I'm awake but not aware, say for example, in the morning, my mind is crazy. We say normally, mood swing, etc., etc. There comes the solution, being auspicious, invoking what is right and good in the mind in the form of a thought, if possible by feeling or emotion, by this mantra. My mind is still crazy. We may conclude, or maybe I have yet to realize the real self. Means impurity, ignorance, and restlessness. At present, maybe I may be very calm. So we will continue the journey of purifying the mind, looking inside the forehead. You're looking inside the forehead, yes. There in the space you are dropping, what you're dropping? You're dropping Om Shanti. What is the meaning of Om Shanti? Om is the real self, and Shanti means peace. So this is a passive movement of the mind in the space inside the head. Why? To maintain our awareness. Oh, do we lose our awareness? Yes, when you are doing the breathing, chances are that we lose our awareness. I I notice it. Yes, I can notice. So you are looking inside the forehead in the space. You are aware of sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body. You are aware of the breath. And now the first breathing is what? Quick and gentle breathing, quick and short breathing from the chest through both the nostrils. Awake and aware. Keep on. When you are awake and aware, the body, only the chest portion will move. You are awake and not aware, your mind will invite millions of unwanted thoughts. No, I should do it. I should not do it. I should change it. I'm telling you, just check it. Keep on. Continue. It is in the field of awakened awareness. And I will refer, I know Terry will not mind. Terry has Parkinson. If she can keep her body steady in being awake and aware, why can't we? Just cite an example to infuse again another level of awareness. Continue. And stop this quick and short breathing into the rib cage. Recognize it. Accept the changes in the experiences taking place. Let me tell you a simple thing. If you're doing it for 3 minutes with 100% awakened awareness, you will have millions of experiences. And sometimes it is not possible for us to hold on to that. Anyhow, second one, keep on doing the Om Shanti and now start breathing into the belly. 3 minutes. It's a longer breath. You inhale and expand your belly. You exhale and contract your belly. Let me tell you, it is an open secret. You are awake and aware. It means you are unrelated to the body, you are unrelated to the breathing, you have a right knowledge of the breathing, and everything goes smoothly. No, it needs a lot of practice, then only I can do it. No! You are aware and awake, you can do it. The way I said, you recognize the challenge of being awake and aware. Continue 3 minutes we are doing, which is a minimum requirement according to many masters. The fact is that the minimum requirement is 9 minutes each. But I say that minimum requirement is this. Keep on. Do nothing. Remain as you are. Means you are aware of the experiences, the change in your experiences. You recognize them. You accept them. When you are aware. You don't get carried away by those experiences. And now the third breathing, Om Shanti. Continue Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. And then start breathing both into the belly and the rib cage through both the nostrils. You are aware of expansion of the belly and the chest in one breath. Don't give a break to the breath. And while breathing out, make breathing out from the belly and the chest. At the same time, you have a variety of experiences. You recognize them, you accept them, but you continue the journey. Long deep breath. But main point is, so I'm not saying it again. That's why I say that wisdom is so simple, but I, you know what I mean. And stop it. Recognize, aware of those changes in the experiences taking place. At the same time, you know they are unrelated. They are the objects. Even the experiences are the objects. I'm not my experience. Another phrase that I'm adding, the great master of Eastern psychology, the Patanjali says, being aware and awake, followed by the steps, is what is called the practice. Now, we go passive step, move the mind inside the forehead, inside the heart in the space. Become aware of equilateral triangle. Again, I'm adding, teasing, of any color, doesn't matter. Pointing upward. And then three-pointed awareness. Why I have been using three-pointed awareness again and again. Now you are very clear. First point of awareness of the side of a triangle. Second point, mantra, the Om Shanti or Shantoham. Third is movement of the mind. On the side of a triangle, Om Shanti, second side, third side, clockwise, anti-clockwise, you will find that the mind sinks as if you're too far from the normal habitual state. At that time, you are singing Om and pushing the mind and from inside the triangle, deep inside the heart, and dropping Shanti. You have a conscious, conscious means you are awake, yes. You are aware of your self-absorption. You're listening to me, but my listening is too far. You're not listening to me. That is also okay. Okay when you are awake and aware and absorbed. Not okay when the unwanted thoughts welcome. Even we follow the same steps, but our practice are different. That is the Now leave that step. So your mind's ear, eyes touch. Looks at the first segment of the finger. Om Shanti. You drop Om Shanti. So what is happening? It's the mind's eye, the mind's touch, the mind's tongue, and the mind's ear lives in the mind itself. So withdrawal is natural. You're not living in the world of name and the form dictated by the senses. So you are already unrelated. What happens? Here the knowledge reveals. Keep on. Om Shanti and all the 16 pointed points, the fingers, Om Shanti, and or Shantoham, or you can use another word. I am peace. That is also okay. You can extend this last step when you are doing on your own. Even if I complete, when you listen to the audio, and you can continue. So keep at least half an hour more when you are doing on your own by the audio files that I send to you. Do nothing, remain as you are, almost in a state of doing nothing. What it means? You are fully awake and you are aware. So being awake and aware, are you a doer? No. When you are not a doer, you are not related to anything. That is what emptiness is. Imagining I'm in the state of emptiness is a very primary step by a non-seeker. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palm. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. So what happened? Now we'll share our experiences. And if you have any question, how are you, Stephen?
I'm really good. Thank you. Um, I, I totally get the awaken awareness. I find I've become more and more aware of what's going on, and it's almost like an instantaneous action. Um, just being able to notice what's happening, how it makes me feel, and then applying, discernment and dispassion immediately to it, and it just settles in. It just everything goes away. As far as this meditation goes, it was so deep for me today. Um, One, I thought it was so short, but the the things that were just a little bit different. I was extremely cold, um, and got colder after each and every step of the breathing. When we got to the triangle, um, there were these intermittent blasts of like golden light that I could see, but I tried to ignore it and just stay with the triangle. And then I noticed that the triangle continued to expand for me to where it was just feeling and I was following my breath and the energy of the triangle the outsides of my body. So it was as if this was the triangle, not in here.
Yeah.
And that was a very interesting experience. And as far as the japa goes, I couldn't get to the hand. My hands were tingling that I should come to it, but it, something just kept me going around this triangle, and I just let it happen. So it was great.
Yes, you have to go to that book which you are editing. There are some references of golden lights from the master. So I'm not talking too much about it. But the most important thing that when I'm awake and aware, you are living your life casually. I would say the mind gets scared inviting the impurity. It says, no, no way. And that's a very powerful way of purification of the mind. And that's what we are doing through the self inquiry. Second part is definitely, again, you have to go to the book. There are indirect references uh, that instead of I see the triangle inside, that triangle overlaps, covers my entire body. And that represents an expansion of our consciousness. And anything that we feel in the mind as an expansion of the consciousness is a definitely a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing. And that is what the revelation. How are you, Terry? I gave a reference to the Terry. And I don't talk about this managing the illnesses and the diseases because that is not the journey. Journey is to find the real self. When the real self you find it and you are fine. How are you, Terry?
I did the lesson that I missed last night. I listened to it, and I did the same thing with the triangle. I made it like it wasn't inside or outside or anything. It was like the same as it was like from here to and then to my two hips. It's
Yeah.
like it was the body. So that's interesting.
So when it surrounds it, what happens, when that you visualize or you have a sudden vision of the triangle and your body is inside it, it represents an expansion of consciousness. And normally,
Before that, I was having trouble visualizing it at all.
yeah,
But today I saw it pretty easily. And
because
then I just really,
we all are seekers. So when we are a seeker, so we have a patience. We keep on doing it, understanding where I lost my awareness when I'm awake. Are you getting it?
yeah,
That is what happens.
I don't,
Wonderful.
hard time holding still today.
Yeah, that's what I.
My hands were kept clenching up, but I did see the triangle today, and I felt very tingly. Just
Yeah. The same experiences as the Stephen had. How are you today?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm good. I was pretty aware my whole practice. I can't usually see the triangle. I'm kind of like Terry, but today I saw it and it looked like a 4-year-old drew it. It was all crooked and messed up and kind of funny looking. But I was still able to follow it. And then also, like Stephen, I got to the japa, but I couldn't find the points on my hand. But I couldn't figure out where they were. But I just went through the process. But all of that with awareness, like just going, okay, go through the process.
Go through the process in the field of awareness is the key. And that, the objects that we know are separate from me. So even the points on the fingers are objects separate from me. But we have to use the mind, and the mind has to understand the steps. That's why we are saying the points on the fingers. That's why we are saying the mantra. That's why otherwise it is one homogeneous consciousness. That's where we are heading to. Wonderful way. And how are you? Let us go to Christina. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I had an aha during the lesson. I think I heard self-fulfillment comes from higher consciousness.
Good.
And so that was a new wider piece. And during the practice, I felt very, very cold. And I noticed some golden light also.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. That golden light. Why didn't you inquire about me? 10 years you lost touch. Almost 10 years. We did. But anyhow, that golden light again, it has to do with an expansion of the consciousness. We'll talk in detail about this coldness. The more and more we undergo these experiences, the cold and the heat, you see that it defies the science. One thing I want to say, normally when we breathe faster or deeper or we change the breath, normally the science has to say that, no, you feel warm, it becomes hot. But sometimes we experience the freezing cold in the breathing. So the manuals and understanding of the science is different from the Eastern wisdom. That we will discuss. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. It was a very deep and beautiful meditation for me. I started out being really cold, but by the end of the meditation, I just felt this very comforting warmth. I just want to just be with it. And I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do self-inquiry in a meditative state?
Yeah. It is always good whenever you have unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, let your mind move to the self-inquiry. So what is going to happen? You are already doing the step, and the moment you step into the self-inquiry, it releases all that is not required and desired in meditation. So even the very thinking and contemplating stops. So I would say, yes, when you remember that, oh, let me do the self-inquiry, why I have unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. So you already know it. So there is a realization, there is an awareness. That is what being awake and aware. So yes, no issue, no problem at all. Wonderful. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good, calm, relaxed.
Good and relaxed. Wonderful. That too, because sometimes the mind does not want to say anything. It wants to remain and enjoy that state is also good. Anastasia, why you are scratching your forehead? Tell me what happened. Again, you started.
Thank you. It's itching. I have this strange feeling right here.
Yeah.
It was very deep meditation, and I've noticed that a lot of people say that meditation is about having no thoughts, but I think I always have them, and the longer and more I do my meditation, the more ridiculous sometimes or bizarre are my thoughts, but I am separated. Like it's like to open a Pandora box and mind goes with different images and situations and past memories. But I was like aside uh, across the river from these thoughts. And that's all. And today my belly was shaking tremendously all time, and it was so funny and strange also. And even during japa, it was as if I'm doing belly dance. I have never done this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, fast and shaking. And I thought after this that this attachment to the body and material, it prevents expansion. Yeah.
Beautiful. The way these are the different revelations regarding the valley movement and the golden light and other experiences. We have finalized that book. All those experiences are written, which Stephen and the Sam are finalizing it. But one thing is very important, and you think over this question. You have no thoughts, even for in a waking state, we are just inert. We are inert. What is inert? We are matter. We are unconscious. So, what is the success in meditation? That discernment. Thoughts are there, but I'm already separate. I'm unrelated to it. So, when I'm unrelated, I already live into that higher state of the consciousness. So people have a very deep and wrong notion about this. And you are right. That's what I wanted to put it. How are you, Ashok?
Thank you, sir. It was very good and peace and calm.
Peace and
Nothing much to say. Yeah.
that's
Thank
very
you.
good. Live into that state. And how are you, Sangeeta? Sometimes we don't want to say, don't say. Live into that state and see how long that continues, living in a waking state. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत पीसफुल था सर और आज तो ऐसे लग रहा था बहुत जल्दी हो गया मेरे से। आंखें
Yeah,
खोलने का भी मन नहीं करता।
she felt very good. She was not able to open her eyes, and she felt as the practice has gone very fast. Obviously, they also indicate a deeper state. So that is all for today, my friends. We will meet again Monday. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Namaste.